कर दिया है. The speech has been within the limitations जो ऑनरेबल चेयरमैन ने क्लेरिफाई किया. प्लीज नहीं, your time starts now. आप speak. No debate, please.
Sir, the time may be.
Yes, it starts now. You speak.
Sir, I was saying, in considering the election reforms, we have to consider the Constitution of India, the Representation of People Act 1950, Representation of People Act 1951, the Conduct of Election Rules 1961, and the Registration of Electoral Rules 1960. Sir, the Constitution being the supreme charter enshrines the fundamental principles of the governance. The Representation of People Act provides for allocation and delimitation of constituencies as well as the qualification for the voters. The Representation of People Act 1951, it's a comprehensive statute governing the actual conduct of elections. The procedural guidelines are given, conduct of election rules in 1961, and how a voter to be registered, what are all the qualifications are given in Registration of Electors Rules 1960. Sir, while Article 324 gives enormous power to the Election Commission with regard to the matters relating to the preparation of electoral rolls, 325 and 326 deals with the eligibility of the voters. Sir, 327 deals with the powers of this parliament to enact rules. Sir, let me divide my speech on two parts. Number one, the conduct of election. Number two, electoral rolls. The electoral rules, which is now the subject matter of SIR, which is called as intensive revision, special intensive revision. But according to me, it is a specified inclusion and specified removal of voters. That's my understanding of SIR, be that it may. Sir, this SIR is opposed by all political parties as unconstitutional, illegal, ill-timed, no proper methodology has been devised, puts the citizen under hardship, and usurps the power of the parliament. This is most important problem of SIR, that the Election Commission of India wants to usurp the power of this parliament. Sir, I'll elaborate it later, but this also usurps the power of the Home Ministry. That they have to understand. Sir, my speech is going to be completely apolitical. I'm going to speak on the law because we are considering the reforms. Maybe. Though it is when we are considering the reforms, what the law is in existence, how it is to be reformed is to be considered. Sir, my good friend Mr. Trivedi was saying that you did that, he did that, all that. That's not the consideration for our discussion today. What we are aiming at is to reform the elections towards 100% purified elections. Are we having that system now is the question. In my opinion and in my view and my study, we don't have a foolproof elections as on today. I'll explain why it is happening like that. Sir, if one has to understand the process in India about the elections, they have to see what is provided under the Representation of People Act 1951. Sir, Representation of People Act Section 169 2EE provides like this, that the Parliament can enact rules, the manner of giving and recording of votes by means of voting machines, and the procedure as to voting to be followed at polling station where such machines are used. From this it is clear that this Parliament alone can devise the methodology of casting votes through EVMs. But what is happening now, there is a provision under Rule 49 capital A of the Conduct of Election Rules 1961, which was enacted by this Parliament, which needs a serious consideration. Why I am saying that is that it provides that the electronic voting machine shall have a control unit and a balloting unit and shall be of such design as may be approved by Election Commission. The whole problem emanates from this, because we have given this power to the Election Commission of India. We have not gone into the design. We are not aware of the design. The people who are casting their vote are not aware of that design. What is happening that VVPAT also was later introduced in 2013. Sir, now the EVM design, which is devised by the Election Commission of India, is causing the most problems. Why I am saying this? Most of the issues were debated in the courts. Sometimes courts have rejected it. Sometimes said, I am expressing my faith in the Election Commission. Sometimes say, change this pattern, change this procedure so as to attract transparency. In spite of all that, what is happening is, in 2024, the Election Commission released a book, namely Frequently Asked Questions about EVMs. Only 2 questions. It is having about 102 questions framed by Election Commission, answered by Election Commission. 2 questions are very, very important. Question number 35 is, how are the political parties, candidates and their representatives involved in EVM process? For that, the answer was, no, we are giving the machines to you for first level checking, for first randomization, second randomization, mock polls, everything. So that is how we keep the transparency. Question number 52. There the question was, EVM with, I quote, EVM with VVPT introduction is no more standalone device since it has to be connected to symbol loading unit for symbol loading. Sensors, printer, light mechanism needs drivers along with the microcontroller. Hence, how can it still be called a rudimentary device? That's the question raised by Election Commission. Answer. Symbol loading unit is part of the EVM infrastructure. The control unit, ballot unit with VVPAT still remains a standalone device. In order to print the VVPAT slips, VVPAT needs to have the symbol information, so and so, so and so. But how it is, that is symbol loading unit, is a standalone device, is not answered by at all by the ECI. They cannot answer also. The problem where it emanates is, before 2024, or at least till 2021 elections, what they used is generation 2 machines, called as M2 machines. Now, 2024, you are using M3 machines, generation 3 machines. The difference between that, to understand the difference, one have to imagine a computer, what is available in your office or in the home. What an ordinary computer is, there is a keyboard. Whatever you type in that keyboard will be stored in the CPU, namely Central Processing Unit. Later, whatever saved can be printed or shown in the monitor. The M2 machines followed the same protocol. Ballot unit, the voter cast his vote, which will be recorded in the control unit, like CPU. What is recorded in the control unit will be printed and shown in the monitor. Without anybody's consultation, without notifying the parliament, without taking anybody into confidence, the political parties, M3 machines are now introduced. The great difference is, the VVPAT, which was lying on the last, has been brought in the middle. Means, the the ballot unit, where the voter casting his vote, is directly connected to the VVPAT. VVPAT is then connected to the control unit. Now what happens? You cast your vote, print will happen, the monitor will show, thereafter it will be saved. So there is no direct interface between the voter and the control unit. And in the VVPAT, after the nomination withdrawal is over, officials will come and load the symbol loading unit, which is a computer mechanism. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what is the data stored in that SLU. Like these machines are undergoing various examination by the political parties, first level checking, first randomization, second randomization. The SLU is not given for examination by anybody. The political parties, none of us are having any control over or knowledge over what is SLU means, what is SLU is, when it is being fixed, who is doing that. Now, after printing your vote, after showing you in the monitor of VVPT, when giving command to the control unit, you have to record this particular symbol. There can be any number of changes through a microchip. This is the problem. Without dehorsed SLU, there is one more interesting answer given by ECI in that frequently asked questions. Question number 62. In that, Election Commission of India admits, it's still available in their website, that the margin of error in report of the committee was put as 2%. That is, for every elections, there will be 2% error in the counting of votes. Then, while it is true that a 2% margin of error has been considered in the report, but the confidence level considered is also far higher at the rate of 99.993. They have not stopped there. They said it is 4 sigma level. Sir, sigma level in the computer parlance is that the reliability of the machine. 6 sigma level considered to be the perfect. Even 6 sigma level is about 99.99%, not even 100%. 4 sigma level is only 99.3%. That means the reliability of EVM is much higher than 2% of the reliability. So, sir, these EVMs have to undergo a lot of study. It has to be decided. The design is to be decided by the parliament. The rules and the conduct of election rules have to be necessarily amended. That people of India, or the parliament for that matter, cannot be kept away from designing these designs. At last, we are electing the people. At last, we are having this parliament. Who is this ECI to consider and decide the design? This design is not going to give you the 100% result, even according to ECI, as you desire. 100% purification of election is required. If it is required, Section 40, Rule 49 is to be accordingly amended. That's the first reform I suggest. Sir, apart from this, as I said, in 2024 onwards, the pattern changes happened. There is a possibility of manipulation. Sir, when we speak about free and fair elections, we speak of very soul of our democracy. The standard we must adopt is not merely that tampering is improbable. Tampering must be made impossible. The integrity of our election process cannot be a matter of probability or statistical likelihood. It must be an absolute certainty that admits no possibility of manipulations. Sir, with that, I would say that Rule 49 is to be amended accordingly. Sir, I want to say one more thing on the symbol loading unit. Sir, while loading the symbol loading unit, that is just after the withdrawal of nomination, why no political party, no candidate or his representative are taken into confidence? You are showing these machines at every stage to the candidates. Why symbol loading unit SLU is kept as a secret? That explanation is not coming forth from Election Commission of India for all these years. So the design should be analyzed, it should be discussed, Parliament should know the design, and people should know what is happening while they are recording their votes. Sir, I'll come to the next stage of the elections. After the elections, on the completion of election, 17C forms are given to every agent of all candidates on the closure of the election. Why not the Election Commission of India publish this 17C forms in their website at least on the next day of elections? They are not doing this. That is why there is a lot of discrepancies between how much votes have been recorded, how much have been counted. This problem, sir, you can see in every newspaper after elections. There are votes counted more than what are polled, or votes not available for counting after what they are polled. For unless and otherwise, Election Commission of India publishes 17C forms on the next date of election, at least one day prior to the counting in their website, there cannot be any certainty in that. Number one. Number two, in the 17C forms, which is annexed with the Conduct of Election Rules 1961, if you can see, that there is no column which provides for at what time the election was started and what time it was closed. Sir, should not it be a very matter of a concern? Because elections means what time it started, what time it's closed, at what time the end button is pressed should be recorded in 17C form. It will give more transparent account on the election. Not only that, sir, there are very many possibilities that the elections are stopped. They're saying that the machine is not properly working, VVPAT is not working. In those areas also, in that circumstances also, 17C form should provide a column when the election was stopped, when it was restarted. Unless and otherwise, this form 17C is amended suitably by this House or by this Parliament, there will be lack of transparency. Sir, the third one is counting of postal votes. In postal votes, there are two categories. I am concerned about postal votes which are called ETPBS, electronically transmitted postal ballots. Sir, there is no proper guideline in counting the electronically transmitted postal ballots, ETPBS. That causes a lot of confusion during the counting. So, I recommend and I suggest and I request this August House to consider bringing reforms in the Conduct of Election Rules 1961 so as to provide proper 17C, proper counting methodology for ETPBS, namely electronically transferable postal ballots. So now coming to the electoral rolls or the SIR. I will give in one sentence or small short sentences